If you ever thought about becoming a private money lender, but you are scared to lose money, you are not alone. I was scared too. In fact, I've lost money on loans before. But here's what I learned. Losing money in private money lending is usually not a bad luck. It comes down to three things: lack of knowledge, lack of system or process, and lack of discipline. Just like getting your heart broken doesn't mean you're never going to love again. Losing money on a loan doesn't mean private lending doesn't work. It means something in the process broke. My name is Haim Aman Palman. I funded over 300 loans since 2017, made mistakes, had loans go sideways, learned expensive lessons, and today I want to show you the exact framework that I use to reduce risk to protect my capital. Not because losses are impossible, but because risk can manage and mitigate it. So why private money lenders lose money? So let's talk about the first reason. It's lack of knowledge of what do I mean lack of knowledge in private money lending? So maybe it's one, you don't know how to comp a property, so you can't establish the value of the property, and from there you don't know what's the loan to value that it's correct or is safe. Number two, maybe you don't know how to understand repairs estimate or scope of work. You don't know, you just don't know. Maybe you don't know how to understand title or insurance policies, or maybe foreclosure process. All of this is big topics if you are a private money lender. So you definitely want to establish basic knowledge about the topic. And I always look at it with the first cycle. First cycle basically says that there are things that you know and things that you don't know. And obviously when you're starting, you are not sure, so you don't know, you have very little knowledge. So that means that you have a gap of knowledge, and that's create fear. So what can you do to close this gap? To close the gap, so the more you know, the less fearful you will become. So you watch videos like this, right? Maybe you watch a podcast of other private money lenders. Maybe you take a course, a free course in my school community where you can log in and understand the fundamentals of private money lending, just so you know the knowledge. So what you do, you expand your knowledge, and now you know more. So you become less fearful until you feel more comfortable, and the more you know, the less fearful you will become. And that's the key. So that's why you want to invest in yourself, so you can know more, and it will help you take it to the next step in the process, which is basically follow a process or a system. So the second reason why people lose money as a private money lenders is lack of system. So if you got right the knowledge phase, it's nice, but knowledge is not equal system, because system it once you have a repeatable process when you know what type of opportunity you want to attract and what's not, because not all deals are created equal, and sometimes you just fall into the trap of speaking with one borrower and you think that they are great, they're convincing you to get into a deal, and you get into it, but then the second deal comes and you're not sure exactly what to do because you don't have a process. So this is what I want to talk to you about: system. The system is very, very important, because when we talk about process, this is what I'm talking about in my model. First of all, you have the position phase, when you need to position yourself as a real estate private lenders, and you attract the right opportunities for you, because here you have your lending box, and once you have the lending box, you will have the borrower's flow that will come to you with the right opportunities that match your lending box, and you will be able to go to the next step, and you have the borrower match when you work with the correct borrower. So this is step number one, is the position phase. And after you establish step number one, you can go to the next step, which is the protect phase. This is when you start to protect your capital. You start to look at deals. So you have the deal analyzer, and then you can look at title and insurance policy. And this is when you can look at the lending docs to protect yourself, because this is super important that you have a process. It's only when you get the protect phase right, you can go to the next phase, and this is the cash flow phase. Okay, that's why again I'm talking about the PPC: protect, position, and cash flow. Super important. So in the position phase is all about defining your landing box. The landing box is super important. It's your North Star, because this is will help you filter the right opportunities for you and to say no to the bad opportunities that doesn't fit your landing box. So what is the landing box? It's basically making sure that you work with the right borrower for you as far as experience level, exit strategy, what's market they work in, what's the vibes, if they're organized and present a deal with the correct numbers and you get idea that they are professionals. Number two is the property type. Do you fund single family home, multifamily, land, mobile home? There's a lot of types of properties and you want to focus on one or two. For me, for example, I fund only single family homes, but this is me. Why? Because I got burned with multifamily deals, so I don't fund multifamily deals anymore. I have less control and I just don't want to deal with it. But that may fit your lending box and you're okay with that. Market is super important. Why? Because not all markets are created equals when it comes to foreclosure laws. When you need to foreclose, the market is super important. Ask me how I know, because I funded a deal in New Jersey that went south and I couldn't foreclose because the foreclosure laws were just a nightmare. So it's very important to select the correct market, the correct state. So super important. LTV will make sure that you fund deals with conservative margins, because the margins will give you the ability to foreclose and still recover your capital. So super important. The terms is important. How many points you're going to charge? What's the interest rate? You're going to have renewal fee or extension fee, right? Will we have a default interest? Very important. And what is the exit strategy that you are willing to work, because that will dictate the term of the loan. Do you like long-term loans? Maybe you like only 6 months or 9 months or 1 year. So that will dictate your exit strategy. Maybe you fund only fix and flip. Maybe you do BRR on the buy side. Maybe you like rentals and you prefer long-term loans. Maybe you like wholesale, when you know it's gonna be maybe 90 days loan and you can turn your money quickly. So you need to define your lending box. It's super important for your success as private money lender, because that will be your filter that will be enable you to fund only deals that match your criteria. If you want to start your journey as a private money lender and you want to work with me personally, you can send me a direct message to Instagram with the number 55 and I will reach out to you and maybe we can work together on funding your first deal within 60 to 90 days. So let's get back in the video. So we talked about the lending box and how to position yourself as the private money lender that is professional. They have a process, they have a lending box, and that will start to attract the right borrower into your world. And once you attract the right borrower and you find a good match, they will start to present deals to you and you're gonna move to the protect phase. Okay, so we have a lending box, we have good borrower flow, it will find the right borrower match, and now you start to protect yourself, because at the end of the day, that's probably why we got into private money lending, is to make money as a private money lender. But number two, you don't want to lose money. So here's the super important process. It's basically like we build a protection wall, and the key is to protect our capital, our cash flow, and our return on investment. So what do we do? Because this is a danger zone. This is all the things that can go wrong, right? Borrower issue, borrower stop paying, market changes and they can't get out of the deal. There's delays, there's borrower mistake. There is a lot of reasons that can happen that can kill your deal and put your capital at risk. So what do? We basically start to build a wall, and we have few things that can protect us. We start with due diligence. Okay, this is when we check the comps to establish after repair value. This is when we check the repairs estimate. This is when we establish the ARV. And so this is super important part of the process, because once we have that, we have the LTV. The LTV is the loan to value, and this is the margin the safety margins that gives us a safety net in case the deals go sideways. Just think about it. If there is a house and you fund it's worth $100,000 and your loan is only $120,000, that gives you $80K in margin, and the 120 it's let's say it's 100 to buy the property plus $20K to rehab the property, and that will bring the property to a value of $200K. So once you do that, you know that the loan to value put you in very good position in case the deals doesn't work and you need to foreclose. And on the contrary, if you don't establish a correct loan to value and it's a $200,000 loan and you gave a loan of $180,000, which doesn't give you a lot of margin in case the deal goes south, and that's put your money at risk and you're gonna lose money. Okay, not a good position to be in. So next we're going to check title and property insurance. What happens if there's fire and the property burned down to the ground? You want to make sure that there's insurance against the policy, and you're going to get the proceeds for the insurance policy to cover the loan principal. That's super important, and you want to make sure there is insurance policy and you add your lending entity as loss payee. Super important. Title insurance is also important because you want to fund your deal in first position. Why? Because if you need to foreclose the property, you want to make sure that you're in first position. There's no lender before you, meaning that if the deal goes south, the first lender will get the money first before you get your money if you're in second position. So you always want to be in first position, and how you can make sure that you're in first position and there's no liens against the property is when you have a title policy. Super important. Next, you want to make sure you have lending docs. This is super important. You want to make sure you have promissory note, deed of trust or mortgage at the very minimum, because if you don't have deed of trust or mortgage, you can't make sure that the property is secured by real estate. It's not going to give you the legal rights to go after the borrower and take the property back. So you must have a recorded deed of trust, and also add personal guarantee. So if you can cover and go after the property, you can go after the personal assets of the person. So this is the few of the basic documents that I include. I also include the assignment of lease and rent. In case the property generated income, I can collect the income of the property while I'm processing the foreclosure. So this is just the basic ideas. How do we build a wall to protect our capital and to make sure our capital is protected and our return of investment is protected? And I will cover with you in the cash flow phase what other steps that we take to make sure that our return on investment and the cash flow is still ensured. So we talked about the position phase, about the protect phase, and let's talk about the cash flow phase, because this is super important because we want to protect our capital. Cash flow. So here's what we have in place in order to protect our cash flow. So first of all, we have ACH, auto payment. That ensures that the money comes into our account on autopilot, because we're gonna pull money from the borrower's account on autopilot. They will sign an agreement, they will connect their bank account to our bank account, and on the first of each month, we're going to pull on schedule, on autopilot, the money from their account for the monthly payment. So this is number one. What happens if there is a delay in paying the payment? There's late fees. There's consequences. If they don't meet the terms that we set in the promissory note, there will be consequences. So if they missed, let's say after the 10th of the month, or if there is lack of funds in their account and there is a late payment, there will be a late fee, and that will cost them more, and that's to keep them honest. Let's say if there is a delay in exiting the property, they've been paying on schedule on the first of every month, we pull the money from their account, but the 6-month terms comes or the 1 year comes terms and they cannot sell the property or refinance the property. So then what? How do we protect our cash flow? This is not our fault. They are the operator. We're getting contractual income based on the terms that we set in the promissory note. So there is extension fees. Maybe they need more time, so they will pay 2 to 3 points to get more time to get out of this deal. Maybe there will be a renewal fee. They want to extend it because they need 6 more times, so there is like a renewal fee, which is basically very similar to the extension fees, but that's protect our income, our return on investment, because we're planning that we'll be out of the deals in 6 months, and we're going to redeploy our money on another deal and collect the points. And if they can get us out of the loan, we don't need to suffer from that. So we're going to collect the points if they need the money beyond the terms of the promissory note that we agreed on. So that's also super important. What happens if they stop paying? What happens then? Then we have default interest kicks in, and it's usually 18% or something, the maximum allowable by the state. We going in, if we charge 12%, once they stop paying, the interest jumps to 18%, and when it's time to foreclose, the interest that will be accrued will be based on 18%, which means that if we structure the deal correctly and we have enough margin in the deal, when we're going to request for when we foreclose on the property to get our money back, it will be included the renewal fee, the extension fee, as well as default interest that has been accrued. And hopefully, if everything goes right and we follow the process and the attorneys do what they were supposed to be doing, we're gonna get our money back plus interest plus late fees, late payments, and that will help us to cover our principal, our legal fees, our late interest, late payment, everything. That would be ideal. So this is the kind of things that we have in place, but we need to make sure that things can go wrong and can go sideways, and that's why we have our lending docs. And if we need to start the foreclosure process, we have an attorney on our side that will start to initiate the foreclosure process. We work in state that usually the foreclosure laws are fairly quickly, and I can tell you from my personal experience, I had deals that went sideways and I needed to get attorneys involved, and I foreclosed on a property in Memphis, Tennessee. It wasn't a pretty process, but in the end of which I was able to take back the property and sell it and recover most of my principal plus interest during the time that I wasn't collecting from the borrower. So again, things can happen, but we have things in place to protect us: the docs, the loan to value, the state that we operate in, the experience level of the borrower. We're doing everything that we can to protect our capital, our cash flow, and our return of investment. So we covered the knowledge phase, the system phase, and the discipline phase is basically when you need to be disciplined, because I've made my mistake because I had the knowledge, I had the system, but I did not follow the process because I was maybe a motivated lender. I was sitting on cash and needed to deploy it, and a borrower came along. He promised me a lot of things, and I decided to fund the deal. At the end of the day, it came back and bite me in my behind. So this is the process that I have. I lend, and if I do a bad loan, I learn from it. Sometimes the best lessons are hurting in your pocket and you lose money. So you learn from it and you have a better system because you improve it, and then you lend again and get better. This is the process. Same thing as I mentioned with love. I got my heart broken. It doesn't mean that I didn't fall in love again with my wife. So you always learn. You always get the process better. And if you want to be successful in this business, you just need to educate yourself, have a process, have a system, and stay disciplined. And if you want to learn more, I have a mini course in my school community. Check it in the description below, and I will see you inside.